Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dota Pit League season number 3. It is the group stages. We have a match between Evil Geniuses and Cloud9. Thank you so much for joining us for this hype game, this hype series, guys. We couldn't do it alone. We have our production team from HighGroundTV. As always, it is Pimp Muckle with alongside, of course, Paxer Stats Man, and of course, as always, Trout joining me. How are you, man?
I am doing good. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure my mic is on.
You are good to go.
Okay, good. I am feeling good. And I'm excited for this matchup. We haven't seen this since DAC. Evil Geniuses obviously taking that tournament, so they are, I think, the favorites coming into this match. And then Cloud9, we'll have to see if they can pick themselves up. They've had a couple of interesting games, actually, that we've even cast. And with the draft already kind of going somewhat quickly, I would say there's some interesting things, I should say, already to point out, and that's the Enigma picked up very, very early, as well as the Wisp first overall here for Cloud9.
Yeah, that's the very interesting pickup. They have Big Daddy No-Tail, one of the foremost IO players in the world. Not a surprise they go for it. They go for the Tiny with the second pick, Cloud9. They know what they want, and they want it now. You said interesting games. They did have that 1-1 series up against NIP, so they are 1-1. This is Evil Genius's first game in Dota Pit here in Group A. Looking to get to the top. We'll see how things start. They go for the Clockwork. They go for the Enigma. Enigma played by AUI 2000, especially in that last game in DAC. He did so much work. Some really great black holes. Some good fighting ability as well. The Clockwork coming out more than likely for Universe, which is interesting because when I saw Clockwork for Universe, I always thought that that wasn't one of his heroes that he could play, but he has impressed me with his Clock play recently.
I think actually Clockwork is one of his better off lanes in general. His two that come to mind for me anyway are, well, I should say three is Clockwork, the Faceless Void, which isn't picked up too much anymore, which is a topic for another discussion, and also the Bat Rider. I don't know if I said Bat Rider already. No. But he's a very good Bat Rider too. But Clockwork is fine. I actually like that EG's picking up Enigma, even though that Chen was banned, because I think that Aui's Enigma is actually better than his Chen. That's not to say that his Chen is bad. I just think that when you have a jungler and you have a somewhat greedier player like Aui on the 4 role, that playing Enigma is a little bit better for him. He usually consolidates to the jungle, and then doesn't move too much until he gets a ton of farm, like a mech or something.
Yeah.
And I think that's the better way to play, at least a jungler. When he uses Chen, he's a very... It's funny because it's almost ironic because he's very greedy in support, but when he plays Chen, he really likes to help out his mid lane. You'll see him... For instance, I don't know if you watched them against Void Boys last night, which was a hell of a series, by the way. If you didn't watch that, you should check it out. EG actually got one of the games taken off of them from Void Boys, but he was playing Chen, and he took a Dark Troll Summoner and was just harassing for like the first 3 minutes, just with auto attacks in the mid lane, and then using the Dark Troll Summoner's summon creeps to farm. Now, you don't farm very quickly this way, but you definitely help out your other lanes. But with Enigma, the point being that he can farm a lot faster on this hero.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't really rotate out a lane as the Enigma that often, and maybe if there's a sheer kill coming into the jungle, like it's like, oh, come to Papa, I'll take that kill. Then maybe he goes for it. But no, he probably just sits the Eidolons, gets level 6, maybe ganks his level 6, but like you said, probably could just go for that mech if he wants to, boots, mech, Sol Ring, and then they go for the Witch Doctor as PPD's hero more than likely, and this is one of his heroes that will do work. And they can also prioritize the Aghanim Scepter on Witch Doctor. I don't think they will because they give too much room to other heroes like the Clockwork, like the Enigma, whatever Fear picks up, and even whatever Sumail picks up. So, it's a solid choice.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those funny things because it's like when you have a Witch Doctor drafted on your team, you want him to get Ags because he's one of the supports in the game that just does better with an Ags upgrade than any other support. It's just amazing how many games I've seen turn, excuse me, with just the Witch Doctor Ags upgrade. It's really a huge upgrade in damage, but it's also one of the better zoning supports that can do it by himself. He doesn't really have to rely on any other heroes because his auto attack damage is pretty high for a support. His animation's nice. He's got good stats. He can use heal to sustain both him and the carry. So it's kind of funny how it works both ways, but it does work.
I feel like the only downside early on in the game is that Witch Doctor's stun is I wouldn't say awful, but it does feel pretty bad. Like, when you think about it, cast bouncing, I think, twice at its first level is pretty terrible.
Yeah, and it's also a slow projectile. Like, it's not an instant cast stun like, say, Rubik or... I mean, Venge is an instant, but it's much quicker. Yeah, that is true, but it also does, even though it has a slow projectile, it has a long cast range, so it does catch heroes from pretty far away. But the main thing is that he can sustain himself by himself without the help of, say, another support.
That's true. That's true. He's one of those. Do you think Lion is also in that role where
Yeah.
you could? Yeah, I feel like they're really good zoning supports. They can get a lot, and they could also actually just turn into lane. Like if you pick up a Lycan or like a troll and they go to the jungle, those heroes could like just take the farm in the lane, and that way they can get closer to whatever item they want, like an Aghanim Scepter we talked about for Witch Doctor, or even a Blink for Lion, which, by the way, has yet to be touched in this draft. And because there's 2 supports for Evil Geniuses, Cloud9 could pick it up theoretically at the 4th pick. We don't really see a 4th pick Lion too often. They went to Walmart for Lion if they grab it, which they're shopping right now. They're browsing. We'll see what they do.
It could be good, obviously, for the Queen of Pain. There's 2 things I worry about, though. One is it's funny that I say this, but I don't know that Lion would have the full a burst that would actually cut through Evil Genius's heroes right now. Yes, I know that's crazy because he has Finger of Death, but it can pretty much, I feel like, would only be effective against Quab. And the rest of the heroes are very tanky in their own right. Clockwork, Enigma's going to build a mech. Witch Doctor, one of the tankier supports.
Yeah.
With Voodoo Restoration. So that's kind of, call me crazy, but I actually like the Bane pickup a little bit more. It's most likely going to be a solo or supporting by himself in the safe lane, for instance, against Clockwork, and he's kind of similar to Witch Doctor in the sense that he can sustain by himself, like very, very high attack damage, very high movement speed, etc.
I actually really love this Bane choice. I think it's so good. You initiate on somebody, you can Nightmare anybody if necessary. Fiend's Grip, obviously. They have Roar and Fiend's Grip to lock heroes down. Both abilities going through Magic Immunity so that if Enigma does get a Black Hole off, there is a good chance he will not be able to do much. So I think this is a solid choice for Cloud9. For Evil Geniuses, they're going to have to find a way to deal with these supports, and even the Roar is going to be a big deal. What do they still need here? I guess they have their off lane. They need their safe laner for Fear, unless playing it, the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, he might be in the safe lane, actually, with Witch Doctor. Kind of an old secret DAC thing, which seems to be... every single time I've seen it done, it worked very nicely, so... We'll see. So that could be the Samel hero, and actually I think it is going to be the Samel hero, because I don't... Well, I don't know. I feel like I see Fear play Medusa more than Samel, but they could switch it up. They're pretty versatile.
I feel like Medusa is more of a Fear hero because Samel's been about tempo control, and Queen of Pain is certainly one of them. And then Medusa's just like, let's farm for days. It's tough to say who's going to pick up. Well, if I had to put money on it, I would put money on Fear playing Medusa, but I might be losing money. We'll see.
I'm almost wondering if they'd put Samel on Medusa, though, and just like kind of dual lane the Wisp Tiny with Witch Doctor and Medusa, because it's actually hard for Wisp Tiny to burst them down with just their combo, because Medusa with levels into the mana shield, you can't really do it to him. You can maybe burst down the Witch Doctor if he's very out of position, but it's unlikely. And then you also have Voodoo Restoration to heal yourself up, so that's a possibility. And then that would pit Queen of Pain solo up against what's presumably an offlane Beastmaster, and she should win that matchup. So they have a number of options for Evil Geniuses. So the question now is what do Cloud9 want as their safe lane carry? And I think that's going to be interesting.
What is Envy's hero? That is the true question. He has a wide hero pool. He's done some crazy stuff in the past. I was like thinking PL for a second. I'm like, no, don't actually. I don't know if that's the best idea.
Actually, I'm wondering now if Beastmaster's just going to go mid, because you mentioned what's the Envy hero. I was like, wait, doesn't he play Tiny a lot? Okay, it's Alina. So it's going to be Envy on the Tiny, and then I guess Fata Alina from mid, and then maybe just a... I'm not quite sure. Maybe they farm Alina. They have options too.
If you put Tiny IO in the safe lane, that feels like a kind of a waste almost. But then again, against the Queen of Pain, it's very hard to try to gank him because he has the blink. And the whole point of a Tiny IO combination is the aggressive and getting that toss off, getting your toss avalanche going, and the spirits as well. And that's tough to get against the Queen of Pain, who's all about positioning. So this is going to be interesting, man. There's a lot of quirky heroes here, and we might have a big fight, big game early on here for Evil Geniuses in Cloud9. So I love the Lina pickup too, by the way. I should point that out.
It's going to be Bone 7 on the Lina, so I don't know if he's going to go solo off lane, or if they're going to, like, maybe they go like some kind of weird dual lane up top, like Lina Bane, and then run Fata solo against the Clockwork. That could work. Yeah. You can get away with these kind of greedy dual lane off lanes And that's not really greedy. I probably shouldn't use that word frugal like that, but or not frugal, but liberally like that. Because you can get away with it because you know that they're running a jungler, so their lanes are already going to be a little bit weaker than they could have been.
The G will be called. We'll get into the game. It's game number 1. You know where it is. We're in Dota Pit. That's right. We've had some really solid. We've talked about this a lot, but every single Dota game, or a lot of the Dota games in Dota Pit, have been absolutely outstanding, and hopefully this series is no different. Secret having some tough times against Hellraisers, and I think it was Seeker Empire the other day. And well, we'll see how EG gets off. The DAC champions, their first real test up against Cloud9 here after the tournament. I'm super excited. Sumail picking up a Queen of Pains. I've never seen this before. What do we
Look
got?
at those wings.
Yeah. Those aren't even legendary, though. Step your game up, Sumail. The legendary wings, that's what you want. But
Fear going an interesting double Ring of Protection build. Maybe they are suspecting some aggression and wants the extra armor, but that seems interesting to me because the brunt of C9's damage is going to be magical for most of this game, actually.
yeah.
So that's a little bit strange to me. But anyway, yeah, Fata's actually going bottom. So I think it is going to be some kind of aggro dual lane with Lina, who didn't buy any regen, by the way. Maybe is expecting a pool later on from Misery.
Gonna go
Not
like
quite sure.
Yeah, he has. Wow, that is crazy. He has no regen whatsoever. Maybe he gets like a tango or two, and Misery uses the salves on him. But like the fact that he doesn't pick up any is kind of crazy to me. It's not like he's going early bottle like say the IO probably is. Yeah, No Tail is gonna save up that 75 extra gold in a bit, get to that bottle early on, and I want to ask you, how does Fear fare up against this lane? Do you think Medusa's okay now in terms of holding her own in a lane like this, or is she gonna have a tough time? Is this gonna be a problem for Fear?
It really depends on where the lane ends up being. So right now you see him, they actually EG knows what's going on. They prioritize the top lane. They haven't even denied bottom. They're using the Eidolon deny up top. They're really making sure they block this. So they want the lane to be like right here basically. And if it is, and they can keep it static there for a little bit of time and maybe get some pulls, I think they're actually going to be okay up in the top lane. So it really comes down to where this lane ends up and just the small movements from both the support heroes, and yeah, they got a very nice start for where their lane started. We'll see if Fear can start CSing and harassing as well into Bone 7. Not the highest damage for a Medusa, but you know how it is. Meanwhile, mid lane Sumail he's been kind of left out to dry, but we've seen him left out to dry before. For example, the last game between them and Vici at DAC Grand Finals, Sumail somehow gets killed a lot, but still comes back into the game. A lot of that also, I think, had to do with AUI's Enigma getting huge black holes and allowing him to create so much space. Cast goes, Bone 7 taking a lot of harass. This lane feeling a little bit more EG favored than it is Cloud9 favored, at least for the moment, but we're not talking about CS, though. Wow, they're really diving in mid.
Yeah, they really were.
They're actually just playing behind the tier 1 tower. Enigma's still farming. The one thing for EG that's amazing is that they haven't blocked any of Enigma's camp. So if this goes static, if things don't happen, then EG will slowly come out on top. Because I don't think they're really going to kill top. And see, the lane is constantly up in a favorable position for EG. So unless they misstep or push out the lane a little bit too much, then I think they'll be okay, actually.
What about that offlane battle between Clockwork and Fata on the Beastmaster? Who do you think comes out on top? Maybe it's Fata because he has the boar and he's the axes. We'll see, because Universe is taking a lot of harass right now. He does have a salve, but he's got to be careful. Oh, PPD getting the first blood. Lina going down. Fear running in. I think he used the Mystic Snake for the kill. He did 100%. Nice play coming out from Evil Geniuses.
Well, and Lina actually bought 3 TPs before she died, which, normally you could say that's like a smart play and spying out your gold, but he's only level 2, so he actually doesn't lose that much gold when you die. And that stops, a little bit of item progression that could help him further win the lane. And I don't even know if they're winning it now, because he's got 3 CS compared to 3 from Fear, and they're going aggro dual lane. So, and also I noticed that, that no regen start did come into play there, because he had no regen. He got like 1 tree from Misery, but Misery never pulled him the HP pod as well. He had one on him. I think he just used one for himself, but it's one thing to note about it.
Right now, if we look at the lanes too, the mid lane is going in favor of Cloud9 expectedly because it's a duel against a safe lane. Bottom lane is going a bit in favor of Fata. Universe is not too far behind. He's a CS behind or something. He's still doing well. Top lane is... It was a toss-up, but now there's 7 last hits for the Lina, but he did go down. So I think the big X factor is going to be AUI in that jungle. That's going to be the difference maker here for Evil Geniuses early on in the game. We talked about that already, though. We kind of knew that was going to be the case because he didn't have any of his camps warded.
Yeah, and I mean, they are doing expectedly okay in mid. I mean, Sumail, one of the good things about Quap is that, you know, it's really hard to kill him. You have to burst him from full to nothing, basically, because she can just blink away. And as a result, she's got 9 CS, which is not too bad. But Wisp is stacking a little bit, which is obviously great for this combo. Yep, top lane. Misery looking for a kill on PPD. One more auto attack plus a nuke and he'll have it. The nuke
the
actually
Dragon
missed
Slave
him.
missed. Oh, the Dragon Slave missed. How? That looked like it hit, man, too. I don't know what. Maybe he was a little bit to the left. That's crazy. Meanwhile, up in the jungle, we do see AUI getting caught out. Finally, Misery and No Tail going to work. He is in trouble. No Midnight Pulse. He'll juke and eat his way through, but he does get brain sapped. That was almost an excellent play for AUI 2000. Not enough, though.
Oh, and a TP out from No Tail. He had an early TP for some reason and ended up working out nicely. And looking at mid, Sumail's only gained 2 CS from the last time I checked his CS, which isn't a lot, so they're not doing too bad, despite giving up first blood. Yeah, Bone 7, look at the damage he's taking. He needs, I guess he's saving for a bottle now, but it hinders him in the lane when you have to play scared for most of the time waiting for regen.
They're going to rotate mid. Misery looking for a kill, but Sumail seems to know this is happening. Nightmare is going to go. The overcharge, and it should be a dead Sumail here. The toss have a combo, easy kill. He needed to blink out away from that Nightmare in order to survive, and that's just a really good rotation. Cloud9 are playing this beautifully. Very smart so far from Cloud9.
Yep, and Bone 7, he's very, very low on both HP and mana. I think at this point, as a pause comes out, either you ferry out the bottle for yourself right now, or you go somewhere else and maybe even take some jungle stacks for yourself. I mean, ideally you want that for the tiny so you can get a fast scepter, but yeah, it wouldn't be an online tournament without a little Kale. Isn't that lag in Chinese or something?
Yeah, I think it was posted all over DAC. Kale. Oh man, fear. All right, 5 minutes into the game. It's been a pretty good one so far.
Yeah. Good
all right, guys.
stuff.
Well, all right. Fear, 2 points, Mana Shield, 2 points, Mystic Snake. Still has the double ring protection strat, and not really worrying about much else. He's trying to get some CS. He's up to 14 now. He's kind of catching up. The top farmers are going to be your Enigma and your Tiny. Tiny with 26 CS, so he could start taking over this game, and Envy has been known to do so for Cloud9. We'll see how things transition here. As he's lagging, he is disconnected from the game for whatever reason. He gets back in, hopefully. AUI 2000, farming mud golems. Dear God, that's terrible. Ugh, that's the worst. He has Soul Ring, Smoke, level 5. He was doing so well. And then they just ganked him. He had a free jungle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his farm is definitely going to be stifled from that one gank. So he's not going to be on pace to where he wants to be or needs to be, which is unfortunate. But and also I think it's really important right now after this pause for Cloud9 to try to maybe gank this Clockwork while he's still sitting in the lane farming, because you don't. Ideally, you would love to gank him before he starts moving around and making plays for himself, which is going to be in 11 experience. He's just about to hit level 6. Has a DD bottle too. You don't want Universe to start getting the ball rolling for his team, and that's what Clockworks do. He's already had a better lane than he should just because it's a 1v1 matchup. More normally you're against a tri-lane or something. And so it's a very easy gank setup too. Roar into any kind of nuke. It can be literally any hero. It can be Wisp with the balls. It can be even Lina can rotate down there with minimal mana. It can be any hero, and I think that'd be very effective for Cloud9 to do. We'll see. We'll see if Universe hits 6 and starts to rotate though right away.
They have the problem with Roar like you talked about, and Universe is not at 6. He's very close though, but they just need one more hero to rotate in. Misery might be that hero, but he has to go home first, so might take too much time. Will Universe stay in lane? That's the question. He's going to get a couple of CS here. This will provide his level 6 right now. Backing away from the board, he'll flare. He'll get that level 6. He'll have Hook Shot. He also has a DD rune, but he doesn't have mana to work with it. Pause from Vata. Hope someone's in the bathroom. That's what I'm really hoping for. Please no disconnect to Reno for Cloud9. That's all I'm asking.
Good and hot. Okay.
All right, we're good now. That's fine. That's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Universe continue to CS. All right. Weird ass looking boar. That boar has a nose ring.
Fata missing a lot of CS on his own down here. I've seen him miss like 4 so far just then, but kind of unfortunate. We'll see though. Clockwork is kind of out of mana. This might be his cue to just leave the lane and go gank, which is kind of crappy for Cloud9 because they, like I talked about, they. Oh nope, he's not gonna leave. He's gonna pop the DD and regen a little bit. Maybe go for that bottom rune.
They're focusing more on top lane. Misery rotated top again. I mean, that's been his lane. That's been where he's made his home. They're going to maybe go for a Nightmare here on PPD. Might be in trouble. Not in range of it just yet. He'll juke. He'll fog. Dragon Slave is way off the mark. Bone7. Swing and a miss, man. What happened there? I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's just farming. Hook shot onto Fatsa. Sumail rotates as well. Fatsa, goodbye. Big hook. And as you said, he can even stay bottom. He'll still get the ball rolling. And it's actually going to be Sumail rotating through to help get that kill, which provides him a bit more farm and experience that he desperately needs as this mid lane has not been going well for him.
I feel like that was such a weird play by Fata. Like, he had full vision of the Clockwork walking towards the rune. There's some action.
Sumail in trouble. Gonna fall. That toss Ava is too strong. And Sumail, if he walks forward at all, he just gets blown up. The aggression from the tiny IO combo, it's real. It's difficult to deal with.
And let's check the relocate timing. He's 5.5 just about for Wisp, so doesn't have relocate yet. But yeah, he had full vision of the Clockwork walking towards the bottom rune. Quap was off the map, so I feel like that's a play that should have been very, very obvious for Fata, but just didn't respect the damage that would come out from the Quap and the easy hook shot from Universe.
We often talk about
they're going to go again bottom.
Ooh.
I don't know if he saw them. He should have seen the clip of Universe with his Hawk. He's standing here microing, but he's kind of AFK.
He seems AFK. Universe, all he needs to do is hook shot, and he does. He hook shots in. Fata just standing there doing nothing. Sonic Wave gonna blow him up with the Shadow Strike. Universe does get the last right click. He was just standing here for literally like a minute, it felt like.
He's just microing, but not focusing on his hero. But I feel maybe that Hawk didn't see the Clockwork. I could be wrong, but it has a very, like, you can see the outer rings of the vision. It's a huge amount of vision, but either way, this is one of the heroes that you would expect to not get ganked just because he has that the capabilities of giving yourself tons of vision with 2 Hawks even.
Messing up maybe on the micro, but Universe getting involved, getting some big kills, and they actually give the bottom lane to Sumail, which I agree with 100% at this point because he's not getting much out of mid. And that's obviously because of a tiny IO combo that's so difficult to deal with, who now picks up a Blink Dagger. I feel like this is a good start, but you do have to deal with, EG's AUI 2000 up on the Enigma. You have to deal with Fear later on in the game. Speaking of AUI, he's in the trees. He's ready to go. He has a Soul Ring. Bone7, do they have a ward? Absolutely not. They saw the Eidolons and they backed up.
Well, Foss is back bottom.
Oh, Universe. Oh, Universe. And that's just it's the 3rd time that kill has happened. It's just that easy for them. And I don't know how you try to sit in mid against these 2 heroes because of their tiny IO combo.
Oh, and he went Blink, by the way, onto the tiny. Treads Blink. I love this build so much. I think it's so damn strong, and I'd love to see Tinies get Wisp. Or Tinies get Wisp. Tinies get Blink. It's a really, really strong combo. And it sets it up perfectly with just the Blink down. You don't see it much anymore, but it's going to really pay dividends as it already has.
I do want to say that although Tiny is doing really well, 3 of the top 4 are going the way of EG. Not by much, I could say. Fata he's up there, so is Bone7. Bone7's doing okay. He's got Tranquils finally and a bottle and a null tally, but Fear has gotten a lot of room to farm up top now at 9 minutes in. He is luckily at about 45 CS, which is a lot better than what his start was. His phase boots now, he has a Ring of Protection, which will transition to an Aquila more than likely. Smoke of Deceit to the top lane. There's nobody there. Maybe they should think about going into the mid lane. Big Daddy No Tail and, of course, Tiny are here. They do have overcharge. It's going to be very tough to bring them down. Another rotation. Misery going to get caught out. The cast going to go through as well. Cogs on to 2. The Midnight Pulse. The Sonic Wave. Goodbye, Bone7. Goodbye, Misery. See you later. Holy God, they died so quickly.
I mean, they're walking uphill with no vision, and they can utilize the Hawk to just wait around for the Hawk and then use that vision to make some smarter plays with some extra vision. They do find a kill, I think, on the PPD. Yep, the balls actually get the kill. Very nicely done. So this Wisp and Tiny are really doing work, but the rest of the cast, honestly, from Cloud9 is falling behind. So we'll see how strong this combination can be as it progresses into the mid game once Tiny gets a real DPS item like Gags.
Blank. They were looking for something. Fear does back up top lane smartly. It feels like this is a 2 versus 5 game right now because of how well the Tiny and I are doing. But Bone 7 will start coming online pretty soon. Fata as well. He's taking time. Rotations back up top. Relocate mid. Sumail's so low. He is going to
solo relocate.
Solo relocate. Easy kill. Tether across the way. Sumail, or Fear rather, can't help out. Mystic Snake, it's not going to be enough. He'll stay alive just barely. He'll relocate back up to wherever he was. I think it was top lane. AUI is going to walk in. He's like, I want that Malphus. He's going to Midnight Pulse. That won't be enough for the kill, but it will get the Midnight Pulse rather than Malphus to secure it. Bone 7, Light Strike Ray, nicely done. They have Black Hole. They're going to use it. Bone 7. Death Ward comes out for PPD. Buyback from Io. He TP's up to the top lane. Blink forward. Tiny wants to go. Avalanche is going to go. Toss. No combo, but still they get the kill with the overcharge. They do get a 2-for-1 trade. Bottom lane coming in. Universe thought about hookshotting it. It's actually on cooldown. He did use it already. Looks like it was blocked by somebody or maybe a creep.
Nice rotations. It actually works out very nicely for Cloud9. Even though they used the buyback from Wisp, I thought he was trying to buy back to save the Lina, and maybe he did. But either way, it worked out because he was able to give enough mana for Tiny to use both spells for his combo, which did kill the Enigma. They pushed the bottom tower. They're pushing mid, pressuring, and making EG move around, and they're still getting tons of farm on this Tiny. So, despite the fact that this Beastmaster and Lina haven't really done much, in fact, they're literally haven't been a part of a single kill yet, this Wisp and Tiny are just really doing work.
Yeah, they could actually just take over this game, honestly. You get a couple of other items, and then all of a sudden Tiny becomes too big to deal with, and there's no timing for Fear to be able to get his items, you know, if Tiny keeps going at this pace. He's already up to 6,000 net worth. Envy has done work this game, but obviously Tiny is only as good as his IO partner, and Big Daddy No-Tail making some big plays. That solo relocate mid was impressive, easily getting that kill, and staying alive, too, was the most impressive thing as well. They transition from lane to lane. They toss Ava a couple of camps, a couple of creep waves. They back up, get ready for another relocate round number 2. And this actually means that EG have to spend so much time walking around the map to try to find somebody. No-Tail might be that target. Hard to really take him down, even with hookshot. No-Tail's like, I can tether away. And they know this. The hookshot misses onto Tiny, and they have to back away now, I think.
Oh, I actually had no idea he was invis, by the way. Like, yeah, he's still invis on the Wisp.
Oh, I thought. Meanwhile, jump in. Sonic Wave. They finally bring down the big bad Tiny. The Rock. He gets destroyed. Not going to keep rolling. Big Daddy No-Tail walking away. He's got, Blink in from Sumail. Spritz did go. No-Tail in a lot of trouble. He'll try to deny himself. Not going to be there. Universe's Flare will go. And that does provide a lot of space for Cloud9. Fatsa now getting book 1 down bottom. What about Bone 7? What about his farm? Still not close to that Yule Scepter. Only has a Sage's Mask. So his farm has been struggling. And EG now, they're all of their heroes, with the exception of PPD, are in like the top 5 or 6 or so in net worth.
I really feel like Lotta's Hawk management could be better. Like, for instance, he moved it towards the mid before that smoke gank. He saw 2 heroes sitting there, which was great, but then he moved it away and then didn't give himself any more vision. If he just kept it there and started moving it around to keep vision of them, he would have seen that they all smoked, but he moved it away. Like, he was scared it was going to die, but it definitely wasn't going to. It was out of vision. It was nighttime. So I think his Hawk management could just be a little bit stronger. He's getting some things, but it's mostly around himself. It's mostly around where he's farming, but even then, you know, we saw him die twice to where I thought the Hawk had vision, but I guess not.
He's sending it across the river half the time. He was over here on the high ground near the secret shop for the dire side, but now he's sending it over to Roche. I think sending it into the same place again. They want to know if they're farming Ancients. One way to do it, he's actually just going to send it mid. And UI 2000, Sumail, and another hero, I believe PPD, are forming up to maybe make a top pressure. No-Tail and Tiny are here. Flare's going to go. Scouts exactly where No-Tail is. Universe snipes him. Easy. The no-scope.
Yeah, this Hawk is a little bit better, as you can see. He's moving it now to the tier 2. It's just more further on the side of the map of EG. And the tower does get denied. So that's some gold mitigated from the side of C9, but the tower is still down. You relocate
Roar
bottom.
relocate onto Universe. He's in trouble. Toss Avil. A lot of TPs coming in. Can they get anything off the back end of this? They have to blink away. Wow, that was a huge gank. Huge relocate. And all comes out of that boar, or that hawk, excuse me.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Fear trying to find them. They will relocate out. Fear cannot lock anybody down with that stone gaze. He might have been getting got on, but decided just to leave anyways.
That's how scared they are of the Wisp Tiny combo, because the relocate was going down in 2 seconds, but he's like, oh my god, I could still get bursted down in just a second. And he probably could have, actually. So it was kind of a weird situation. Could be a waste of the ultimate, if you look at it in a different way, but I think he was still rightly scared of that combo.
They are, Cloud9, they are making some huge plays, honestly, with their rotations. And it feels like EG are a bit flustered. You saw that TP bottom. Everybody TPing in, and they were too late to the party. They couldn't chase anybody down. And Tiny continues to get farmed. EE is 5-1 and 2. He has 96 CS. He'll jump into mid. Fear has to back away. Fear does have a pote booster from probably Scotty, I'd imagine. And just a couple of gold, but, well, a whiles away, I should say.
Samael is very underfarmed, and it's not really his fault. Like he's rotating around where he needs to. Like he's making things happen and doing the best with a bad situation. But you know the point still stands. He's very underfarmed on a co-op, which is a hero you don't want to be underfarmed at this stage of the game. So as a result, and this is just the nature of playing against a Wisp Tiny. Like you always have to be scared while you're farming, because when Wisp Tiny is off the map, which they almost always are if they're playing it correctly, they not only farm faster than you, but they also have the threat of ganking you. And then you slap on top of that a Hawk, which is still mostly around just the Beastmaster, but still, again, the threat of, like we saw last time, the Roar plus Relocate is very, very strong. We see Cloud9 do this a lot with, for instance, a Legion Commander. They'll go a duel into Relocate, or some kind of strong stun into Relocate. And this time it's worked with the Beastmaster.
And the Beastmaster seems to be a better flavor of choice than, let's say, the Legion Commander. We haven't actually seen Legion in so long. At least that's what it feels like to me. And Beastmaster's kind of entered the meta. He gives you a lot of map control. You get a Gem of True Sight plus those Hawks, and all of a sudden you have complete and utter vision across the map.
Relocate on the PPD.
Oh, PPD. He actually dodges the avalanche. TP's coming in. I think you have to be careful. No-Tail has a haste rune. Hookshot was onto the Necro units. Universe went a little too quickly, and he takes the backlash coming out from the Necro Warrior, but he does get some extra gold because of it. Blink now done for the Lina, foregoing the Yule Scepter, just wants better positioning, but even when they rotate that many heroes towards that top lane like they did previously, they can't get anything done. Feels like C9 are almost toying with them for a certain extent.
Yeah, and it was kind of a botched relocate in the sense that they overshot it a bit on PPD, but it didn't matter. No-Tail had a base rune, and he's actually going to tether way far away to the Tiny, and despite being stunned by the Witch Doctor, he'll be okay. But look at this, EG's really traveling at packs, and when they're not traveling at packs, they're TPing at packs, like you mentioned. Mass TPs, not getting much, running around together, not farming the map. So in a sense, I would expect Cloud9 to be up a little head, but no, it's very even actually right now.
How is Fear farming at this point? He's gotten a lot of net worth. He's second in net worth now. His Scotty's almost done. 101 CS. He's only 4 CS behind Tiny. Of course, Tiny has the advantage of kills. They might be going in mid. Misery's looking for Fiend's Grip, trying to get the relocate. They're going to use it anyway. Stone Gaze is going to go. That is quite the ability up against the Tiny IO. He won't be able to Stone Gaze them down, but meanwhile, No-Tail in trouble. They have to pop the drum charge. Finally, a relocate gank that doesn't go the way of Cloud9. And Fear is like, well, thank God I have my R button, because otherwise I think I'm pretty much dead.
Yeah. And, well, the good thing for EG is they didn't really spawn like they did before, where they're like mass TPing everybody. Universe, I think, came in, but he didn't have a hook anyway, so I don't think they could have really threatened with the kill. And Samael's getting some more farm up top. He actually went for the Yules this game, which is kind of an interesting choice, I guess. It helps you get a free blink out, I suppose.
I've seen this. This was Samael on Queen of Pain. We saw this the other day. Envy picked this up on the Queen of Pain, the Yule Scepter. It did not work. It did not work. You just went right there. You're like, no, not very good.
I mean, to be fair, he was down in that game way more than EG was. Like, EG's even in this game. In that game, I think he was down, like, their team was just getting owned, so.
They were playing against NIP.
Yeah.
I don't remember the draft, but they were getting crushed.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I remember the first game, NIP had a Bristleback, and then I don't remember the second game.
I think they might have...
Shadow Fiend? I don't
Didn't Fod have the Shadow Fiend? Or was the other Shadow Fiend? No, I will figure it out later. I'll look it up now.
Interesting enough to me, Envy went back for the drums after the blink, so didn't rush the Ags, which I imagine he goes for now, and he's saving up 3,400 gold, I should say.
Yeah.
And actually buys a casual quelling blade just now. All right. Interesting.
Actually, do roast quicker, I suppose. I don't really know what else that's for, though. That's the problem. He has plenty of base damage to see. He has like 200 damage. I don't really think you need the quelling blade to see as fashionable. Lena Boots all time, 388 arcanes, 39 power treads, 32 phase, 25 tranquils. Why don't we just just destroy all of those arcanes builds, because that doesn't happen anymore. Like that's a bygone time when that was picked up. That no longer happens. Well, it happens very rarely, I should say.
Yeah, I think it's because Yules is so popular that with Yules, I think one of the bigger problems with Yules is, someone argue it's an overpowered item right now, is that it gives a lot of mana regen.
Yeah.
Like, not only does it stop blinks because it does a little bit of damage upon getting onto the ground, like it gives you so much mana regen. It's almost feels like a sheep stick, honestly.
Yeah.
I think
that's a very good point. The only real difference between a Yules and a sheep is that you can attack the target that is disabled, I suppose, whereas the Yules just keep somebody out of the fight.
But then you could argue that, sheep doesn't really have as strong of a defensive capability. I mean, using yourself can get you out of a lot of things too.
Absolutely,
whereas maybe sheeping, you can only sheep one target, but when everyone's going on, you use yourself, you can essentially mitigate everybody's damage.
Cloud9, yeah, this is what I thought when he picked up the quelling blade. They want to take Roche down. They want to do it quickly. They're going to do just that. And Envy will grab this Aegis. So drop down his stout shield. I don't need that flimsy piece of wood. Let's go. Let's try to fight, boys. They're ready to go. Fata, by the way, has his... Oh, big hook on the 2. The Sonic Wave, they blow up the IO as well. Sahil O'Neal jumps in with the hook shot. Oh, man, what a basketball-like play for the Clockwork. Beautifully done. I was not expecting the 2-man Clockwork initiation. But Tiny still finishes Axe and still gets the Aegis. That is the trade-off coming out for Evil Geniuses.
Yep, nice response there from Universe. Finding the pickoff, and this is a really nice combo from Queen of Pain and Clockwork. And I imagine, yep, he's going to go for the Ags on the Queen of Pain as well, which is obviously very good, getting that 40-second cooldown so you can do those plays all the time. And then, hey, if Universe after the 4-staff gets an Ags too, you can just constantly keep ganking with this really strong nuke power.
And the fact that Sumail has this much farm is super surprising to me. We talked about how much he got shut down. I mean, he died like 2 to 3 times in the laning phase. And he is now second or third in net worth, right around tied coming out with Fear. And AY is not too far behind. He just finishes up his BKB. The only thing that could go through it is Fiend's Grip and Roar. So still there is a lot of possibility for him to get caught out with this black hole. But if he black holes up onto both the Bane as well as Fata, this could be an okay situation. But again, we talk about it a lot. It's more the threat of the black hole than it is the actual black hole coming out for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, theoretically, he should not get this off, but it could happen. I mean, Beastmaster primarily wants to initiate with a Roar. Like, you don't really want to save it too much. You want to Roar, cast your axes, kind of walk around, kite a little bit with your Call of the Boar, and then dip in for an auto attack or two, but you don't really want to save your Roar that much. But maybe you do against a very strong ability like Enigma's Black Hole. And then the same thing kind of goes with Bane. Like, Bane, yeah, you want to use your ult kind of late because you don't want stuns to be available when you cast it, but you want to lock a hero down and then DPS them down. You don't want to lock them down just for the sake of stopping the channel.
Here, maybe getting baited here. Blink, Avalanche, Fiend's Grip's gonna go. Fear and Trouble, Laguna Blade. He's got a lot of mana. Light Strike Array. AUI looking for a black hole. Will he find it? On to 2. The Roar comes out immediately. Fata nearby. AUI in trouble. Misery about to fall. They've already lost Io. Sumail has to blink away. Now Force from Universe gets another kill. PPD getting chased down. He should fall. 2 for 2 each side. Sumail bashed up the craggy exterior. He's gonna fall. Triple kill for EE. Based Ice Frog is with him today.
Envy's playing like he really wants it this game. Like, he's just making all the right decisions. I was a little bit critical, I think, of him last game in Dota Pit, but man, he has just really stepped it up this game and playing so well. Like, it seems like he's just making every right decision possible. His farming patterns are perfect. His itemization has been very sound. And yeah, he's playing like he wants it. There's a blink onto the Beastmaster. So that's going to be really nice. And fantastic play by Fata, I got to say.
Yeah.
Had he not canceled that, it could have been very devastating for Cloud9. I just talked about how you usually want to use it for initiation, but you might want to hold it, and in that case, it definitely worked out well for him. So nice play by Fata too.
I think we're all right. For now, we are going to send it over to Pitmunkle for our first replay of the day. Pimp, what's going on, man?
Alright, so let's check this out. Misery is in the woods there from like 5 minutes straight. I have no idea. He was just standing there, he was AFKing, and they just waited and waited and waited, and it damn sure paid off. I gotta say, it was a nice black hole, but in the end, what does it really give you if your Tiny is still up alive and kicking? And he is just owning Fear. I mean, Fear is tanky as hell, but he just cannot prevail. Great black hole, and like you mentioned, great ultimate by Fada, and you know what, Mod? We have more action on the live broadcast. Let's go back to it.
Smoke of Deceit from Cloud9. They're looking for somebody. They're going to find him. AUI 2000 getting jumped on. EE now on a mega kill. Universe going in a bit willy-nilly. No tail in trouble. Still going to live for the time being. Very low. Stone Gaze, Misery, nightmaring him up. Meanwhile, Sumail's into the fray. Fata getting caught out. Sonic Wave. Fata trying to TP. Not going to be there. Misery getting caught.
Oh,
the grip's going to go. Sumail in trouble. He's about to fall. EE now turning the jets on. Fear getting chased down. So much mana. So tanky. Light Strike Array. Laguna Blade on cooldown. Fear's mana now gone. Tosses up. They finally bring him down. All 5 are dead. And Cloud9 take a huge engagement coming through. What a beautiful fight coming out from Cloud9, and Envy going to work, punching in, making sure he's getting paid.
Yeah. And the Clockwork Hook, actually, as you mentioned, it seemed like it really wasn't the best decision by going in there on the Wisp like that. He still ended up living. Actually died, I think, at the end to PPD or something. No, Sumail came in at the very end. Aegis does expire just now, so Tiny gets that little bit of regen. Has 5,500 gold just about to boot, so whatever he wants, he will have, like, basically. And what's he buy? I think maybe... Okay, he's gonna go for an AC. Just a full-out AC.
That's the normal choice, I'd say. And
Has a DD right now, too. Oh my god. With the
he had
bottle.
a DD full AC. Oh my god, he would kill buildings within seconds. But
oh my god, they have relocated up too.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is devastating. The Aghanim Scepter's done for Queen of Pain. You generally want to snowball with that, though. The damage that you pump out isn't that much. Well, at least on Envy. Lags, says Cloud9. 80% packet loss. That is rather unfortunate. Fine over here. EG looks like they're okay. 59%, never mind lag. Well, folks, we got through a lot of the Dota game, but... Hold on real quick. I'm just gonna... Okay. First, PPD. What does everyone else have? All right. We'll send it over to Pitmunkle for another replay. What's up, man?
All right, so just since we have a pause, we might as well just take another note at the last fight. And that was pretty interesting. If you guys take a look at the minimap right now, I think it should be... Yeah, everyone can see it. Everyone is free to ghost. Ha! What a joke. EG was completely scattered up. Aoi was there, and he got caught out. So, still, EG wanted to fight this. It was a nice hook shot, but like everyone mentioned already, I mean, especially 12, what does it really give you on the Wisp when he can still kind of force out Sumail into a bad position? Now Sumail is trying to go into Fata. Yeah, that's great, but is it really a big kill if you get Fata in this position? Because there's a Tiny. Tiny just hits like an absolute truck. Misery is still there. He has his ultimate. Everyone just dies, and because of this, it was such a huge exchange for C9. And let's actually switch back to the game, because this gold graph is really telling a story. We have a 5k change in over the span of like 2-3 minutes, and those were these two last team fights, gotta say. I'm impressed with C9. It's pretty good teamfight execution.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Pitmunkle. But, Truff, I wanted to ask you, do you get a bit scared? Do you get a bit nervous if you're Evil Geniuses? You do have fear for the later stages of the game, but is he enough against what they have already for Cloud9? Like, they have a tiny IO plus an AC. That's frightening, man.
He can carry this. Like, he just needs the items and the time, and he doesn't have either right now. It's the scary thing. He might have the time, because it's not really, like, they're not going to push the base anytime soon, I would feel, for Cloud9. They have nice base defense in, like, you know, for instance, Witch Doctor with his ulti and just being able to throw casks from high ground is very nice. Sumail with an Ag's ulti is very nice for defending. Clockwork is one of the best. Black Hole and Midnight Pulse. So these are all great abilities by keeping the game and elongating the game, but So he certainly can't carry this. He's just not getting the room to farm, and that's just because you're fighting up against a Wisp Tiny, like I said before. It's very difficult to farm against that when you lose map control. And when I'm talking about map control too, while he had the Hawk in kind of weird spots, I would say, for the first half of the game for Fata, right now it's going to be a lot more effective using that Hawk to scout out where enemy heroes are, and then use a relocate properly after that.
Scary thing. There's a lot of map control coming up for Cloud9. So much so that EG's time dwindling on the other side. It's going to be tough for them to cross the river from here on out. Even contest Roshan's, which we already saw that first Roche, be going straight to Cloud9. They have an Assault Cuirass now. They have a DD, although Roche is down for a long period of time. Here does have that Scotty, which is fine, but they've just been caught out. These relocates have been on point for Cloud9. Misery with the Phoenix Grip. Is he going for anything? He actually picks up a gem, so they already have... They have the Hawk, they have the gem. Map control is about to come for the side of Cloud9 for Evil Geniuses. Fear pushing out very far across the river, almost to the Tier 1 tower bottom. He might stay and try to force this tower down and get some extra gold off the back end. Top lane, Fots is here to go for the Tier 2 tower. An illusion of Tinies is walking in as well. That's frightening. And Sumail just says, I don't want any part of that. I'm blinking away. Let's get out of here.
The illusions actually hit so hard, too.
Their damage.
Look at the DD. Oh my god, Tiny just takes out that mid tower so fast.
It was literally at full health. I looked away for a second. Oh, relocate top. Sumail in trouble. They don't even need... They don't need Big Daddy No Tail, or Fatsa kills him on his own with a Necro 3.
Watch this. He's still got DD. He hits for 600. Look at this.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That Tier 3 tower, rest in peace, buddy. You had a good life, but you died pretty quickly. You died too young. Fatsa, Blink Roar on cooldown for 50 seconds. Meanwhile, E heading bottom. They're like, we got creeps in the base. We don't give a damn. Let's go. Tier 3 tower bottom. That's about to fall. Let's just take all the Tier 3 towers out, and he'll do just that. He also lost his DD at that last second there. And oh, now Evil Geniuses are in a very rough spot. And Cloud9, they just need one or two big team fights to be able to secure this game. And Fear's time is running out to be the late game carry that he knows he could be.
Yeah, and as you saw, like before that relocate, just because Sumail is only built really in Ags as far as stat items, Yules doesn't give you any stats into strength at all. He's still very, very squishy, and so the Blink Roar Beastmaster killed him all by himself with the Necro 3. So that's, yeah, they're very squishy on the side of EG actually, other than, of course, Fear, but... the other scary thing, too, is I see this all the time. If everyone jumps on Medusa, say, and especially with Bane, who is also good against Medusa because not only are you holding him in place, but you're doing damage with your ulti, but you're doing almost double damage because it soaks up mana as well. And since she really relies on mana to be tanky, it's a very good spell for that. But when you use everything on her, she loses that mana like almost instantly, and then she doesn't have the mana to cast the ultimate, which is, paramount in fighting against Tiny.
Fear has a rough game ahead of him. And it looks like Cloud9, they're going to split up. They're going to take their own jungle. And Evil Geniuses are even afraid to go outside into their own jungle. They have an Observer Ward here. It's about it. But now there's, of course, the Hawk coming through to scout things out, coming up from Fatsa. He's staying top lane. He actually has bots as well, so he can even be involved. They have this big global strategy now with 3 heroes that can jump across the map. The relocate plus the Tiny. Fatsa get bots in. Ags is done for Bone 7. I'm not sure if we talked about this already, but I don't know if he just got that or if he's had that for a while.
I think he just got it. I didn't see he had the 4-step in between, though, so his farm is definitely picked up. I haven't really been watching him this game, actually, but to be fair, he's been quiet. He's 1-3-3.
Not been his strongest start, but he might be able to end this game with a bang. Laguna Blade is up and ready to go. He's almost level 3 Laguna Blade. And Evil Geniuses are literally just stuck inside their base. Fear is like, can we go outside? Guys, I need to get farm. I need to get big. Get a head top. Fots is up here. If he goes, he can get roared. They can relocate on him. Yeah, but instead, it looks like they're roshing.
Yep, and I think Envy bought something else. Oh, he bought the PKB. Couldn't even see it, but yeah, he just bought that, so... He can kind of hold his own now without Wisp, so they don't even need to overcharge him. They can overcharge, say, Lina if she needs it, or anyone else.
Player a little off the mark. Doesn't matter. No Tail will grab it. He hits the Aegis. That wasn't a cheese, by the way. They're more intense on keeping Isle alive and allowing him to, keep the Tiny alive to overcharge and everything else. Something happened up here on the high ground that I missed, clearly.
That was close. He walked up into, like, enemy heroes of EG and then quickly blinked away, so nice reactions from Bone 7.
That could have been a disaster for him. Here, it all comes down to him at this point. Sumail, he already has his Aghanim Scepter. He's going for a BKB more than likely. He has a Yule Scepter, but he has a long way to go. It should be important to note, though, for those of you wondering why they didn't pick up a Storm Spirit for Sumail, it was banned first overall. I don't know if SF was banned. I'm pretty sure it probably was.
EG banned it, I think.
Yeah, so they know how good Fatsa is on the SF, which he was unbelievably good in the last couple of series. Here will walk up towards the high ground, though.
It's just because Cloud9 had first pick, and I think EG values SF as a first overall pick more than almost any hero. At least right now in the meta. It just raises do too much damage, and he should see them now. Yep, okay. Fata's going to back up. I was going to say one other thing about Bone 7, and it totally slipped my mind.
Oh, they are relocating. They're leaving Fear out to No-Tail?
He has an invis.
They can't see him. That's hilarious.
Oh,
they
got
roared Fear. They necrobook him as well. The mana drain, goodbye. Fear is in trouble. He'll buy his ultimate orb. He'll try to man fight on Fatsa. He might actually be able to kill him if he's luckily. But he's getting chased out. He will survive because the No-Tail did relocate out. That was a lot closer than it should have been. Universe doesn't have hookshot. He'll try to take down the... Ooh, he misses the cogs onto the Necro Warrior.
I don't know that Universe wants to do that. Universe might kill himself here.
Meanwhile, the tier 3 tower that's gone, the Rack's bottom, assaults hit. Look how fast it's going to fall. Melee Rack's Glyph is going to go. Melee Rack's about to fall. Universe does buy the Aghanim Scepter. He gets back home, so now 12-second cooldown on his hookshot. But still, the damage is done, and Cloud9 just taking whatever they want in this game. Look at the Tiny. He is almost 10,000 ahead of the next closest person. That is how farmed he is. He has that BKB. He has the Aghanims. He has the Assault Cuirass. He has everything he needs. Team's down 6 towers at 30 minutes like EGR. 0-46 in this patch. Not really the statistics you want to look at if you're an Evil Geniuses fanboy.
Yeah, that's definitely not good. I don't know what you do with your EG. I think you 100%... Wait, he's going to go for the Manta first on Fear. Alright, well, it's definitely Rapier after this.
Yeah,
I thought he was just going to go Yasha into Rapier because it really is Rapier territory. There's no question about it, or no doubt about it. But it went from the Manta. It's a little bit more safe. I say this all the time whenever there's a Blink Initiation stun, like, say, Fata's Beastmaster, or, like, say, Batrider. Casting the Manta immediately makes you second-guess yourself, and it actually botches the initiation. So maybe that's what he wants, but it's definitely Rapier time now, if Fear can actually even farm it.
Hookshot will connect into Misery. That'll be a big target. Force is out, though. Still going to chase. Actually, the Battery Soul cancels the Fiend's Grip. Misery is still alive, barely. Universe in trouble. They will not be able to chase Misery down. They blow him up with the Laguna Blade. AUI, BKB tosses up, but he is in trouble. Midnight Pulse goes down, but he falls. PPD, Light Strike Array, goodbye. 3 down. EE with the double kill. 0 buybacks to the side of EG, and that is not a glitch. That is, in fact, 0 buybacks.
I think they're going to call it soon. Like, none of them have buybacks as wait. Okay, you mentioned, yeah, no glitch. None of them have buybacks. They just have no way of getting farm. And they have no way of actually taking fights. Oh, Sumail's, he wants to go in.
Sonic Wave. Goodbye, Misery. Give me that gem. Fear uses his TP, cancels it. Gets jumped on. Toss Ava combo. Fear is about to lose all of his mana. He does get the Stone Gaze off. Nicely done. Sumail walks in. Doesn't actually have Sonic Wave. They do blow up the IO, but he has Aegis. And Cloud9, they're getting every single fight going their way. LSA is going to miss onto Sumail. He'll blink away. Tier 3 tower is going to go down in the mid lane. They back up. Hookshot misses from Universe. The blink came through, I believe, from No-Tail. Bone 7 getting out as well. He's up to the high ground. They can't really get a single kill for Evil Geniuses. They got Misery, and that is it. That is all they're getting.
And the top range Rex has 15 HP, actually.
Dear Lord.
So hopefully they don't misclick and deny it or something.
Bottom Rex is completely gone, by the way.
Yep.
I think they killed it, then relocated top to fight. I didn't see what was happening. Yeah, for Evil Geniuses, this game seems almost impossible at this point.
It would take a miracle, but miracles can be found in the form of a rapier. But it's just a matter of he can't farm it. I mean, he's like 5,000 gold away. Actually, more than that, I think. What's the full rapier cost? It is
6,200, I think.
62, yeah. Okay, so he's 5,000 gold away. But that's a long ways. Kale, they're lagging. Really?
It's like 36 minutes of the game, you're down a set of rags. EE pauses. Like, okay. And we gotta... Pip, did you say you have a replay, buddy? All right, go for it, man.
All right. Wait for a second. I just gotta zoom. There we go. All right. I think this looks good. Let's switch to it. So yeah, you know, just casual tiny killing Rex. You know, glyph was used. Good start, and then they stop the Rex from going down. But in the end, what does it really matter when you have a Wisp relocating you? And I think in just a second they're gonna go top. Let's fast forward because we got the technology right here. There's our lovely stat with a 0 to 46. That's disgusting. Gold graph, experience graph doesn't look great. Jesus Christ, when is everyone fighting? I know I saved this replay for a reason. There we go. I think this is gonna be it. No? Okay. Oh, there we go. We got it. Alright, found it. Nice production value. Fire pimp hashtag. Universe finds Misery. Misery has a 4-staff, and with such, well, initiation's kind of butchered. And he also gets out. So if your support main gets out because one of your core guys just doesn't have any sorts of like items to kill him, that's so bad. Aoi can't even black hole. He tries to go for Midnight Pulse, and of course the toss from the tiny goes through BKB. So yeah, I don't know. It's just cleanup time, and everyone's just dying so quickly. The only good news is Sumail has an axe, so yes, he can split and counter push just a bit. And of course there's the X factor of the mid user. But I mean, honestly, this is so much to climb, such a steep hill. I just don't see it, but maybe the 1 through 46 can be made happen. I mean, if anyone can do it, AG can, right?
And 1 in 46, man. The dream might be real here for Evil Geniuses if they can hold out just a bit longer. Get that Medusa the Divine Rapier, maybe win a fight or two. And even then, if that's the case, then there's always the threat of relocating into the base when you're pushing out and suddenly losing a set of racks, suddenly losing all of your buildings. Cloud9, this would be some 3-2-2 shit if they were able to lose this game, in my opinion. I'm gonna be honest. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion.
There's no way. Like, for instance, even if Enigma, for example, like just uses BKB and Black Hole, the ult from Lina's gonna go through the BKB and do 950 damage pure, and he only has 1200 HP, 1270, and then with a couple auto attacks, he's just dead. And I imagine he's probably not going to use Black Hole when he's like completely full HP. He's probably going to take a little bit of chip damage from something. So he can't even do that. He can't even BKB Black Hole. Keep in mind, too, that the Ag Scepter upgrade for Lina isn't only converting it to pure, but it also increases the range. It's ridiculous. It's like 900 range on the Scepter.
Oh, here we go. It is time to try. It's time to go down to the mid lane, it looks like, if you're a Cloud9. They could actually just wait for another Roshan, which is in how long? A long time. I don't know if they need to wait that long. EG have to make these big plays. They have to head bottom. They have to push out their waves. That's a Daedalus for Tiny, as if he didn't have enough damage already. He will, like, 2 or 3 shot some of these heroes.
With a Vlad's now on the Wisp, that's really good.
Just they have every item they ever needed at their disposal.
Keep in mind, too, that when they're fighting around the Beastmaster, he increases his attack damage, or his attack speed by a lot, too.
That's true. I completely forgot about Enter Beast. That attack speed, the 45 buff. That's crazy. And he'll bots top. He'll try to clear the creep wave. They want to finish off this top racks. If EG defend here and they lose, do they have buybacks? They have a Queen of Pain and Fear buyback on the Medusa. Still smoked up. Evil Geniuses out of the base. Flare's going to go. Sumail might be the one caught. They won't go for it. Instead, they back up. They go for the top racks. They take the ranged racks. The melee racks now getting assaulted, which is backdoor protected. And they didn't have a glyph. Luckily, it was backdoor protected. Avalanche is going to go. I think it was looking for maybe Universe up under the high ground. Misses completely. And it's just, it feels like the bell is tolling at this point for Evil Geniuses in this first game. They will have to defend with everything they've got, and even then, it might not be enough. What about Fear? What does he have? Just bought the Demon Edge. He is 3,800 gold away from the one item that can get them back into this game, the Rapier. But even then, is it going to be enough? There's a lot at stake coming out for Evil Geniuses.
And I think this really goes back to, because the rest of Cloud9 had a bad start, but the Wisp Tiny, just not only did they do well in mid, as they should have, like that's to be expected, but they also stacked, and then it was the surprise 8-minute treads blink from Envy that really started getting the ball rolling. And I don't think that EG and the rest of them were ready. Whoever got ganked first, I think it might have been Sumail, I don't remember, in the mid lane, but they just weren't ready for that fast blink. And that's not typically what happens. Normally you just farm up the stacks and get a fast, like, 15-minute ags or something like that for Tiny. But Envy switched it up, and I think it caught EG off guard. And it was just that next level of aggression that really helped him snowball. So No Tail and Eternal Envy really took this one away, and it's gone to the point where it's just almost unlosable. But there we go. The first component of that rapier has been purchased from Medusa. So we'll see. This is EG's one ticket back into this game. We'll see if he guys actually has the time to farm it.
You made a very good point about Envy picking up that Blink Dagger. He's not one that'll like to, put on aggression when he could farm alternatively. Like, so often we'll see him in the enemy jungle, farming stacks, doing his own thing, but the fact that he bought that Blink Dagger continued to provide aggression for Cloud9 meant that maybe evil geniuses weren't expecting it. They got jumped on, and since that Blink Dagger came out, I mean, they were in a good spot earlier on in this game, but it's now a 15,000 net worth lead for Cloud9, 15,000 experience lead, and evil genius is like, Jesus, we got to hang on somehow. Fear continues to farm top. All of the gold is going his way. AUI will leech some experience. I don't know if any other heroes for EG get any other items at this point. Luckily, Sumail does pick up that BKB, so that's an item at least going for him. What about the rest of the squad? Universe is sitting at an Ags. They do have now a Hex coming out for the Lina, and there's no way that Fear could deal with that. He has no defensive items. So if they Hex him, he might just die. And the Radiance Courier does go down. That's a big pick. Relocate coming in. They will find Sumail. He went for the Courier. He dies, and he doesn't have buyback. Hey.
Gets tossed up there as he's TPing with the BKB on. Oh, man.
That was a refresher orb for Fatsa, by the way.
Yeah, but Sumail has no buyback, and if they try to pressure this right now, there's going to be an easy 4v5. And even if he did buyback, they know that his BKB was down, so...
Yeah, they're going to go straight down mid. That is rough. Sumail has nowhere near buyback either. It's not like he's a couple hundred gold away or anything. He is a long way away from that buyback. 900 gold or something along those lines away from it.
They should, yeah, they actually know Roche is up, so if they wanted to go for a free Aegis and Cheese, they could do that. Which they might do because the lanes haven't been pushed yet fully. EG's been doing somewhat of a good job by spamming things out and just buying time for this Medusa Rapier to come online, which is now 1,200 gold away. But now they're going to have to pay for it with an Roche on.
Roche is going to go down Aegis and Cheese. This raise room for one of those. ZE could probably drop. Looks like he's dropping his Blink Dagger, actually. Might be a smart choice. He doesn't really need to Blink Initiate. He has the IO to help out with as well. Someone will pick up the Blink. That'll be IO, so he'll be able to give it to EE when the Aegis is expended. The Cheese has been picked up by Bone 7. Bots is still pushing out bottom. Let's check the Rapier counter. He is 800 gold away from it. He is not too far off, but it might be too little too late here as they're ready to push up into the high ground in just a couple of moments. 600 gold. The countdown increases.
You could almost say it's a bit of a mistake that Cloud9 are actually waiting this long. Because that's EG's one way to get back into this game. Nothing else. It's not going to be EG can outfarm them and everyone on EG gets more farm. Like, no, that's not going to happen. They're constantly sitting in their base for the last 10 minutes almost, and it's only going to be the Medusa Rapier that can actually provide them the damage to win a fight. So it's almost a mistake, you would say, from Cloud9 by allowing EG to have that opportunity.
I still feel that one Rapier might not be enough against everything they have. They have a Vlad's, they have an Assault Cuirass, they have so much.
Yeah, probably not at all. But, I mean, if there was something to help them, that would be the only way. But I agree with you. I don't think that it's going to change much.
He's 200 gold away. It's the splendor of the Divine Rapier. That's what gets you going. He's gonna have it. He's just gonna send some heroes down bottom. He has to send the courier over.
Oh god, yeah. What if he goes, buys the relic, and then it dies? That would be the worst feeling.
That's the biggest problem.
He has it now. He has the gold, so...
He's just gonna buy it?
They're escorting him over with the smoke.
Oh, there was this Hawk scouting it out too, and they don't see him. He gets the Rapier. If he gets 2 Rapiers, then I say they definitely are back in the game, but 1 Rapier is, I don't think, enough at this point. They might try to fight, though. We'll see.
I mean, he hits basically just as hard as the Tiny does without a Rapier.
True. They're pushing out pretty far. Malphus is going to go. PPD's going to get caught out. Where is Fear? AUI 2000 now hexed up. He does have Black Hole. He's going to pop up his BKB. Does get Roared Hookshot onto Fatsa. And actually, the Death Ward, they're going to bring down Fata. The Laguna Blade, that poor Enigma. Meanwhile, Fear is in the front line. Scotty's going to go, but here's the IO overcharge. Fear is left to his own devices. Cask and literally taking no damage. They're going to bring down No Tail. He'll fall. He might have to buy back. He will. Malphus, Black Hole is ready. Are they going to use it? Light Strike Array misses. The Cog's going to go. Envy, he does have the Aegis. Now Black Hole, it might go through the tail end of the Aegis. Relocate back out. Fear's going to TP away. They know that the fight they've taken is very good, but they don't want to go further. PPD might fall. AUI 2000 as well is in trouble. Light Strike Array, he'll go down. He just bought back. Butterfly now done. Big pickup for EE. Glyph's going to go. And that was a good fight, but had the Aegis not been there, maybe they win. But of course, the Aegis providing so much for EE. Jump in, Light Strike Array, hookshot coming in from Universe. Sumail's back up and ready to go. Sonic Wave, EE getting low. He will die. He might have buyback. Nightmare going to keep him alive for the time being. Yule Scepter's going to fly as well. And EE should go down. Hookshot misses. Meanwhile, the Courier on the Radiant side going down as well again. That is an 8,675 Courier. That is the full Butterfly and the Refresher again dying for Cloud9. But they still lose a melee Rax. They lose a ranged Rax top. There are 2 buildings left up and alive for Evil Geniuses. They are holding on. They're holding on with everything they've got. They're saying, Fear, please, take the driver's seat, because without you, we're done.
Well, they lost the range racks up top a long time ago, but that was actually an amazing hold by EG. Like, look at what they lost. They lost maybe a couple heroes with 1 buyback on Enigma, but they already bought back on the Wisp. They lost the Aegis. They lost the Cheese. They used the Cheese, I should say, onto Bone 7. And they still only lost 1 melee Rax, and they retained the Rapier, and now she has a Mask of Madness, so the damage output is going to increase heavily. That was actually a really nice hold by EG.
How hard can the Legend Fear carry at this point in time? 383 CS. He buys the Mask of Madness. A bold call, to be sure. Something that I certainly wasn't expecting.
Wisp definitely needs a Ghost Scepter, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it really needs one.
He was like, okay, I'll get away with Vlads. They have like no right click, and then all of a sudden he gets rapiered to death. He's like, I probably need a Ghost Scepter now. But they can blow him up other ways as well. But yeah, the IO is the biggest problem in these fights. If he goes down, then that Tiny is vulnerable. If he stays alive, Tiny is pretty much invulnerable. And the journey to the second Rapier for Fear begins. As there's a dead Courier, they walk by in the mid lane, say, how do you do?
That's got to be a record of highest net worth on a Courier lost, is it?
I'm sure.
I don't know if they have that kind of stat around, but that's the highest I've seen.
Sonic Wave to push out the wave top lane. Fata's like, dude, I just really wanted my Refresh Orb and screwed it up, man, again. It was running right down that mid lane. It got picked off by something. I'm not sure what. Walk up EG. They're easy 200 gold coming out for him with that Necro Warrior. They can't really give those away willy-nilly, man. Every bit of gold counts, I think, for Fear.
And keep in mind too that, for instance, in this scenario that Cloud9 like kind of go all in for the racks, and they get mega creeps or super creeps or whatever they're called, and you know, Fear has like 2 rapiers and doesn't die. He can still easily push out lanes. Like they can actually fight against super creeps or mega creeps, and I mean, obviously they still have a very high chance of losing just because Wisp Tiny's so good at base pushing. But just keep that in mind. Like they can fend off mega creeps if it comes down to it.
I think the gold means nothing. Everything means nothing. Pit Muckle, do you have a replay, buddy? Are we ready to go? I think we're okay. They're all across the river. We're gonna send it over to Pit Muckle for another replay. Pip, what's up, man?
Alright, hopefully we're gonna have the time, otherwise we're just gonna switch back, it's no problem, we got the technology. Alright, so, first of all, Medusa just picked up the buyback, and PPD, he just eats a complete Fiend's Grip. Like, in a fight where everything is on the line, where your Medusa has a Rapier, a Fiend's Grip on PPD is actually crucial here for the success of EG. Sumail, well, he was eating another sleep, so those CCs on C9, they've been used already on the supports, and also on the not so high priority targets, and by that I mean everyone except Fear. So Fear was in the fight, he was just right-clicking away people. He didn't get stunned by the Light Strike Array. Big Daddy No Tail, yes he came in, but he just got owned! And you know why? Because Fear was just actually hating on him so hard, Universe as well. And this is pretty much the fight, I gotta say, because without these supports of the Wisp, the Tiny dies, and Trell said it. Oh, actually, let's go back.
AUI 2000, he's got the Black Hole at the ready, getting caught out. The Laguna Blade going onto PPD. He's going to fall. AUI is done. Sonic Wave, Fox is falling. Fear, he's going to do it alone at this point. He needs Universe at his back right now. Still, Fear in a lot of trouble. Hex is up as well. Buyback from Sumail. Fear is still low. Has run out of mana at this point. Light Strike Array. He does have buyback. He's probably going to have to use it back in the fray. They will break down Universe. He gets tossed up. And EE is so low. He will have buyback if he goes down. Fonsa getting chased away as well. Jump in. Universe is at 20 HP. He'll fall. Universe has to buy back. And the bell again tolling for Evil Geniuses. It is Mega Creeps at this point. And Fear trying his damnedest to push out all of these waves. Not the best engagement from Evil Geniuses. Cloud9 maybe a couple of seconds away from taking this game, getting the hexes, getting the roars, getting everything they possibly need in these fights. They've been playing them so well. Cloud9 might be able to take this game, and Roshan back up in 40 seconds, man.
Yep, and Envy does not have boots. He actually just uses the butterfly flutter movement speed as well as a tether to you know, hit him up to speed. And he's really not that slow, to be honest. With the tether, he's at over 400, and he still has the blink to make himself mobile too. So he is 6-slotted without boots, and it's very, very effective. And if you saw right there in the beginning of that fight, he just went right on to the racks, turned his attention to Enigma, and like 2 or 3 shot him. It was just, he was just out of the fight instantly.
That's the biggest problem, I think, also, is that AUI he dies so quickly. BKB or not, dies almost instantly.
Yeah, he's had the same items for almost about, I would say, half an hour.
Yeah, you're right about that. And Cloud9 will take an easy Roshan, because guess what? If you're Evil Geniuses, you have Maker Creeps in your base, there's no way you can contest this without at least taking a lot of damage in your tier 4 tower. Hookshot coming in to somewhere. I think that was up the top lane, actually. I thought it was at Roche for a second. I was like, what, really? No, but Universe is up top, still defending. Maelstrom has been picked up for Universe, by the way. Sumail's trying to get to his scythe, I imagine. They give the Aegis to the Beastmaster. Do they give the Cheese to the Io? No, they gave it to Envy. He dropped his Blink again, I suppose? I think it was his Blink again. So now he has 2 lives. It's so hard. They're so far behind now for Evil Geniuses in Cloud9. They just have to take one fight. If they take one fight, even if there's buybacks, tier 4s will fall. The Ancient probably exposed and dies, and and it's all on Fear's shoulders. And if they could get somehow, if they could get AUI to survive in these engagements, to get a big black hole off, then maybe that'll be the game. But Cloud9 they're playing superior Dota at this point.
Yep, I mean, well, we expected this to happen, right? Like, they had a substantial lead. They were up about 3.5 racks or something like that. They had a Wisp Tiny. There's a refresher now on Lina. So we expected this to happen, but we'll see if EG can take one more fight. It needs to be, like you mentioned, like a god hole. Like a black hole on 5 heroes.
This has to be the most miraculous fight ever for this to work out, I think. There's so much against them. Double Hex, double Roar, double Laguna Blade, a giant-ass Tiny in front of you. Io helping everybody out, keeping them alive. Misery's okay, I guess. 1 Fiend's Grip, obviously. They have to have everything going the way for Evil Geniuses, and they have the abilities to do it, but down this far, I'm not sure.
Fear.
Laguna Blade's gonna go. They're gonna catch out Fear. He doesn't have buyback. Rapier's on the deck. Black Hole goes, but it's a bit too late. Death Ward going. No Tail is about to fall. He will take a spill. EE getting cast up. PPD doing a lot of work, but it's too little too late as Fear. No buyback. GG comes out, and Cloud9 take a huge victory in this first game of a 2-game series.
Nice. I wanted to see if they could get the throne before the GGs actually stopped the game, and they did. Because that Tiny was massive, and I want to check out his GPM at the end of this too. It's got to be close to like 800, 900, something like that. We'll see. It is pretty insane. 750 for him. 22 fantasy points just about for Envy, and I gotta say he earned every one of those. Like, he played phenomenally well, easily the MVP of this game. Just didn't take 2 shit, like didn't give 2 shits this game, and just like we mentioned, right out of the gates with an 8-minute treads blink, just totally surprised. I think it was Sumail. Or it didn't matter who it was, but just surprised the enemy team with the blink, because it's just not standard. And it really ended up working nicely for him. So well played by Envy and the rest of Cloud9, but specifically Envy and No Tail.
That was a solid game coming out from both squads, but Cloud9, like you talked about, what can you say about Envy, man? And obviously No Tail as well. I expect to see a IO ban in the next game. I'd be very surprised otherwise. Not like Evil Geniuses played that poorly. They had a really strong mid game, but they couldn't connect it. They couldn't get Fear the farm that he was looking for. Maybe too hard farming of a hero. And with that being said, it is only game number 1. That was just an appetizer. The main course on the way. Game number 2 about to come out here for the Dota Pit group stages. We've had some fantastic games, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll continue them in short order. Thank you so much for joining us here on twitch.tv/DotaPit. Make sure you check out the Compendium $9.99 in the store. Of course, with us today, Mottpax, our stats man at Mottpax. You can follow him there. Pimp Muckle on production. You can check him out at Pimp Muckle. Trouf, of course, my co-caster at Trouf Dota. You can check me out at Mott Dota, at Dota Pit. Shout-outs to HighGroundTV as well. You can check us out at HighGroundTV. With that being said, guys, we will jump into game number 2 in just a moment. Stick around. We'll be right back.